Welcome to AMA, African Motorcycle Adventures. If you're here, it means you are seriously thinking of doing a tour with us. We will quickly do an explanation to you on all our levels of riding and what your abilities need to be. We have put 5 levels of grading together, and they are as follow. Level 1 is for novices and beginner riders. Level 2 is for beginners to intermediate riders. Level 3 is for intermediate to semi-experienced riders. Level 4 is for experienced riders. And level 5 is for experienced to expert riders. Our level 1 grading system is for novices and beginners. These roads are normally roads that is very similar to a hard surface. They're normally very well graded, very well maintained, and will hardly have any obstacles in the road. That is, of course, if there's no rain. It is advisable that you do learn how to stand up on your motorcycle, since this gives you much greater control. Our level 2 is meant for beginner to intermediate riders. These roads are also normally very well maintained, but will start becoming a little bit more tricky than your level 1. It will have some corners and will start having little bits of obstacles in the road that you would not expect. As can be seen here, although the road surface looks very hard, it's got a hint of little bits of sand underneath. These roads also can become increasingly narrower and start having blind spots where you can't see what is ahead of you. You will also start finding bumps and humps, some corrugation, some erosion that will be in the road. Also, sudden water that runs over the road could cause a bit of a problem. Some holes, some rocks, you never know what will be around the next corner. Bottom line is that our level 2, the roads, although still in very good condition, can start posing some obstacles for the rider. Our level 3 is meant for intermediate to semi-experienced riders. These are dirt roads that haven't been graded or maintained for a while and will often have unpredictable road surfaces. Things that you can expect is a sudden onset of water and mud, maybe even traffic on that same road. Roads such as these can easily get you into a very difficult situation, especially when wet like this. The roads will become increasingly narrower and will have often water sections that you have to cross. At this level, you can also expect to have very severe and quick changes in the road conditions that you are riding on. Animals in Africa also, of course, become an increasingly dangerous situation, so you should expect things like this to happen very quickly, especially if we are driving through rural areas. So, bottom line, for your level 3, you need to expect anything on the roads. This is why you need to be a semi-experienced rider to start riding these roads with us. Our level 4 is meant for experienced riders. These roads are increasingly more difficult, often very narrow, and often in mountainous areas with very high cliffs and falls down to below. These roads often can change very quickly, and you need to be in great control of your motorcycle at all times. With these sort of conditions, you will often find erosion ruts in the road that you will have to steer around. Blind corners and very, very high cliffs, very narrow roads could increasingly become more and more dangerous in this level. In areas such as the Baviaanskloof, you will often have areas that's been cemented, and between the cement you will find a lot of erosion. The road conditions here can also deteriorate very, very quickly without even knowing about it, or of course even expecting it. Bottom line, for level 4, we need you to be in complete control of your motorcycle. The conditions on a level 4 experience could be very, very diverse, and we urge you to know what you're doing when you tell us that you are an experienced rider. So let's look at our level 5 that is meant for experienced to expert riders. This is normally 2-track roads that is very unpredictable and can have lots of obstacles. Often you would be riding and suddenly there is some water over the road, maybe with a deep hole. Sometimes these can even become prolonged long distance water crossings where visibility down at the bottom can be extremely difficult. Then there's the dreaded ruts that is left by vehicles after rain that's become hard and could make you tumble over very easily. This is always caused by wet weather, and wet weather leads to lots of mud, and lots of mud can become extremely difficult to ride, especially in a big motorcycle. Rain on these 2-track roads can also have consequences with lots of water on the sides and a middleman with ruts. Then of course with these roads they can often lead to some surprises, like a road that is normally easy to ride can go over into a very, very sandy patch very, very quickly. And we all of course know that sand is of course our worst enemy. We hate it. These roads also can have other unpredictable things like sudden corners with mud, water, or suddenly a downhill with water in the front. We never know. On roads like these we can also encounter lots of other things like ruts, lot of rocks, erosion gullies. Anything can come our way on these roads, and if you're not prepared for it, you are going to struggle on these type of roads. In extreme situations like with mist and water, things can often lead into something like a fall that we all don't want. Mist is something that also can cause that you can't see what is going on in front of you, and suddenly there is an obstacle in front of you, like watercourses. Then in extreme conditions we can go over rocky terrain that is extremely difficult on a big motorcycle, even encounter things like watercourses that's come down, that's flooded areas where we seriously need help to get through these water. Bottom line is, this is not for the faint-hearted.